Today we're checking out some really cool software that you can use to project video and visuals during your live performances. The software is called Visibox, and it's a really cool and very nice interface for organizing and projecting visuals at your live performances. And what's cool about the software is you can either have the option of, if you play to like backing tracks and a click track, for example, you can just have one video that just syncs up directly with your music, or you can import multiple clips and be a little bit more spontaneous on when the visuals come in and out and stuff like that. In this video, I'm going to go over how it works, and I'm going to demo it in 4 different ways, starting from the easiest to the most advanced. First, we'll start off with an easy method where you just have one video file that syncs up directly with your backing tracks and your click track. Then I'll show you how you can trigger this stuff with MIDI. Then I'll show you how you can trigger multiple different clips and you can be a little bit more spontaneous with the performance. Then fourth, I'm going to show you how you can use another device or software for your audio and then just send MIDI to Visibox in order to trigger the video. Really quickly, I do want to give a shout out to Ted from Bullet the Blue Sky. He's a fellow Colorado musician friend of mine who plays in a U2 tribute here, and they use live video in a video wall during their shows. And he's been telling me that I need to check out this software for a while. And also a shout out to DJ Cumberbund. If you haven't seen his channel, he has some of the best and most creative mashups out there. Many thanks to both of them for helping me get an extended trial of the software so that I could do a video on it. It's not a paid video or anything like that, it's just really cool software, and I think you guys would be interested in it. You can download the software free for 14 days and do a trial yourself. It is available on Mac and Windows. Also, at the end of this video, I will be doing a giveaway for 3 of my subscribers, so be sure to stick around to the end of the video. And if you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so once you have the software downloaded and you load it up, go ahead and do Load New Project. And when you first get it, it's going to look something like this. What you want to do first is you can either right-click, do New Song, or you can do Command-N and create all the songs that you want to create for your set. I'm going to do 8 just for this example. It gives it these random names, which is kind of funny, but go ahead and just rename them, all the songs that you want to do. I'm going to do a couple of my originals because I use live projection with my show for my original music, but I'm also going to do some covers. You know, Smash Mouth, George Strait, Taylor Swift, and Blink-182, the weirdest tour ever. But once you have all of your songs put together, you can either go here and you can do attach audio, or what you can do is you can just drag the files in. So you can either drag in audio and video separate, which is what I'm going to do for the cover tracks. And if you do that, it'll ask, do you want to add a placeholder clip to this song? I'm going to say okay, and that'll make just a blank video, but we'll deal with that later. I'm going to drag in all the other songs for all the other backing tracks. And then what you can do is you can attach clips separately to those songs. So these are just some random clips that I have, but this Clocks one, I'm going to attach to All Star. This Helix one, I'm going to do for Amarillo by Morning. The Ocean one will be for Anti-Hero, and then this Space Tunnel will be for All the Small Things. Really nice and easy to get your audio and your video just dragged in. You can drag in multiple clips for a video. I will show you that later, but I'm keeping this one simple just to start. And the other thing that you can do is if I have all of my backing tracks attached to a video file, I can also just drag in the video file. So these are my original songs with the videos that we've done, so I'm just going to drag each of them in to their correct spot. All of these videos I'll link to down below if you want to watch the full thing. Shameless plug. You do want to make sure that you go up to your settings and then go to audio output and make sure that your output is selected however you plan to route your audio. Just check that right there. So I have this going out to my audio interface. Now, if you don't see the external screen, you can go to Window and go Show Output Window. The shortcut is Command-1, and that will pull up the screen right here. Now, when I push space on Augmented, you'll see that Augmented plays. Audio and video. If I scroll down to Ocean, push play, you can see that the visuals for Ocean start to play. Scroll down to Backfire, hit play.
All right, everyone, watch your back. We're getting closer.
Pretty simple.
Visibility isn't getting any better.
So obviously you don't want your screen just displaying on your computer, you want it on your projector. So here's how you do that. So you're gonna have to connect it to your projector or a video wall or something like that. So I have my projector connected to my Mac. It's connected with an HDMI cable. Yours might be slightly different. This is how you want to set them up though. So on a Mac, you wanna go to your settings and then go to displays. And you can see it gives you these 2 different options. So this is my normal screen and this was my projector right here. What you wanna do is you wanna go to the projector and you wanna set it to the extended display. This is how it works on mine. Yours might be a little bit different, but this is how it works. Now, once that is set up, I'm going to push Command-1 to bring that window back. And then what you should be able to do is you should be able to drag it over to the right. You should be able to see it over on your projector. Not always, because mine will do this kind of weird thing where it will go like right here and it brings up these bars. It's kind of odd. So when I push play, you can see that it's just showing on my computer, but not on my projector, which is obviously what I don't want. But then when I drag it over to the right, you can see those weird squares come up, and then it kind of locks right here. It looks like it's not right. However, once I go to full screen by clicking this icon right here, then you can see it separates. On my computer, I have Visibox, and then on my projector, I have the Sphere Storm video playing. Audio's coming out of the computer, video is going to my projector. You can see that I go to Augmented, you can see it starts playing the video footage for Augmented. So there you go. Your computer will display Visibox, and your projector will display your visuals. And you can see, like, if I start a song like All Star, you can see that one of the clips is just blank video. You can go and right-click it and say, delete this clip. Now it doesn't have the placeholder anymore, and it will just display the clocks when I push play on that. Let me go ahead and just clear these other ones out. And then when I push play, you can see that each song starts with the visuals attached to it. Amarillo by Morning, band in, ready. Anti-hero, verse, all the small things. So now you can play along with your backing tracks with a synced up video file that syncs directly with your backing tracks. Congratulations, you're pretty much done at this point. You can have this just kind of sitting by your drummer, and you can just have him trigger the songs just like he would, backing tracks. Audio and visual sync up, and you're ready to go. But the next step is if you want to trigger this with MIDI, and you can customize kind of how the show flows a little bit more as well. If you know nothing about MIDI, I highly recommend you at least watch this video. You'll still be able to follow along to see what's possible, but some of the terms might go over your head if you're not familiar with MIDI. So I am going to be using the Graviton M2. I've done a video on this. It's such a great MIDI controller. I have it connected via USB-C to my computer, and you can see that I've already programmed what I want my MIDI controller to do. That's what's really nice about this controller is I can name what it's going to do. Very easy to go in here and edit what commands it says. That's why I like this controller. I have a video about it if you're interested. So what you want to do is you want to go up here to your settings, go to MIDI input, and just make sure that your MIDI device is enabled. Now you want to go to your MIDI map. So right here, these are all of the things that you can map via MIDI. You can see I have some of these already mapped out. I'm going to go down here and click clear all so I can just start from scratch. A couple of things right off the top. For the MIDI channel, it's likely going to be set to Omni when you first get it. I do recommend setting it to a specific channel. So I'm going to set this to read on MIDI channel 8. You can also choose your input. You can set it to default, or you can choose a specific MIDI controller as well. So I'm going to choose the Graviton because that's what I'm going to be using. So what's great about this MIDI mapping is that it gives you this option for learn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click learn on the play command because that's what I want this button to do. I'm going to push that button, and it has assigned this button is now going to push play. So now let's do the same thing for the stop command on the second button. Learn enable on stop, push this button. Now that is assigned to stop. Previous song, I'm going to push this one. Next song down, I'm going to push this one. So like up and down is kind of the way that I think about it. And then having multiple clips, I think about that left to right. And you'll see what this means in a little bit. But for previous clip, I'm going to assign that to this one. And for next clip, I'm going to assign that to this one. Very, very simple, nice and easy to set up. Keep in mind, there is this select song via program change, and I'll show you that later in the video. But just for a basic demo, I think this will work. So now you can see for selecting songs, I can scroll down or up, and I can push the play button in order to start playing the song, push stop in order to stop the song. Scroll down, push play.
All right, everyone, watch your back.
Go up to a previous one, push play, and stuff like that. You'll see that I have it set so that when I go to a previous song, it stops the other one. Previous song no stop might be what you want if you don't want it to do that. So if you want to scroll to the song without stopping it, like cue it up or something like that. But I do actually want it to stop. And there you go. So now I'm able to control it via MIDI. Just something to keep in mind for this set is you can right click the song and you can say when the audio ends, right now it's set to stop clip, but I can set it to one of these other ones. So I can set it to start next song. So once this song is finished, it's automatically going to start the next song. An odd choice about this software is that there's no way to fast forward. I'm not really sure why. I don't plan to do that live anyways, but for putting something together it would be helpful. So I made this short track right here called All the Short Things so that I could show you this. But when the song ends, I'm going to say start the next song. It's going to play through the song, and when the song's over, it's automatically going to start the next song. All the small things in on the end of 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Amarillo by Morning. band in, ready, which is pretty cool. You also can set it to cue next song. So when the song finishes, all the small things in on the end of 3, 1, 2, 3, and 4. It goes to the next song and it's waiting for me to push play. Amarillo by Morning. Band. So I either have to push the space bar or play on my MIDI controller to start the next song. So you could set 3 songs to go together back to back. So Augmented Sphere Storm Ocean, and then you wait, talk to the crowd, and then you would play Backfire after that. Okay, so now that's great, but what if you want to have multiple clips with the audio? You don't want to just have the exact same show every single time. This could be if you're one of the band members and you want to trigger different videos from a MIDI foot controller, or maybe you got hired to run visuals for a band and you want to trigger them just from your computer. You can also do this with just no audio because not every band plays to backing tracks, and this way you can trigger different videos at different parts in the song. So you can do that with this software as well. Also, just keep in mind, any of these clips can also just be a static image if you just want to use like your logo at certain points in the show. So for all the small things, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a bunch of these clips, just drag in another 4 of them. So I have 5 clips total down here. You can right click on the clips and say move left or right if you want to reorder them. But now I have 5 different clips that I want to trigger during this song. I can also resize this by clicking here. So I can either just click them manually, if you wanted to click them like from your computer. If you're running this software or something like that, you're not a musician on stage, or a DJ and you want to just click the images, you can do that, or hit left or right. But triggering this with MIDI, remember how I assigned that previous clip and next clip? So now watch, when the song starts, it plays this first one. I can push this button for select next clip. It loads the next clip, loads the next clip, loads the next clip, go to the previous clip, next, and so on and so forth. If you want to trigger different videos at different parts in the set and not make it the same every time, that is the option of how you want to do that. And just FYI, remember under the MIDI map, you have these play clip 1 through 10. So you can assign one of these to always trigger clip 4 or clip 5 or something like that, if you wanted it to. Just a couple of different options. And also one of the really cool things is you can do is you could right click and you can say add a camera clip. So if you have a different camera attached to your computer, I don't, but you could have like a camera on your drummer and a camera on your singer and a camera on your guitar player or something like that. And you can say, when I click this button, I want you to go to that live feed of your drummer or something like that. That's a really cool option as well. So that can be assigned to one of the clips. And remember, you can trigger songs using program changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly program my M2 to send a program change. I'm going to set it to send program change on MIDI channel 8, program change 5. So now I'm going to click this first one and it should load number 5. And actually it loaded number 6, and this can happen because my MIDI controller is set to go from program change 0 to 127, and this is set to go from 1 to 128. So you just have to subtract 1, so that can happen. But either way, I loaded this song with a program change, and then I can push play and stop and stuff like that. So you are able to send a program change to trigger the songs that you want as well, which is going to come into play with the next step. So with Visibox, you can import a single stereo audio file. And that's usually fine if you use like a single file backing track where you pan the click to the left and tracks to the right, or vice versa. If you don't know how to set that up, I do have a video going over that. But what if you wanted to do multi-tracking? With multi-tracking, you can have separate outputs for different instruments. So you could have click, cues, keys, drums, bass, whatever instruments you want, all on their own separate outputs. And if you aren't interested in that, I do go over that in this video. But you can use software like Ableton or Stage Traxx 3 or basically any other DAW, and you can send messages to Visibox in order to control it. As of right now, you can't use Visibox as like a VST with inside of Ableton or anything like that. I do hope that's possible sometime in the future. That would make this process a little bit easier. However, there's something called the IAC driver, which means that your computer is able to send MIDI messages basically to itself. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to use Ableton Live. I'm going to send MIDI messages in Ableton Live and send those messages to Visibox using the IAC driver. A little bit more advanced stuff, but you should be able to do this in Logic or Pro Tools or Cubase or something like that as well. The IAC driver is only for Mac. I did a little bit of research to see if it's possible for Windows. This is what I found. I'm a Mac guy. Hopefully this gives you some ideas of how to do this if you use Windows. So you want to load up your audio MIDI setup. And if you don't see this screen, you want to go to your Windows and then Show MIDI Studio. The shortcut for that is Command 2. That's going to bring this up. And the thing that you're looking for is the IAC driver. You're going to double click it, and then you're going to say device is online. You're going to bring it online. And then on mine, I believe you have to click bus 1 and then hit apply to turn it on. I'm not 100% expert on this. I just know this is how it works. And then in Visibox, you want to make sure that under your settings, your MIDI input is set to the IAC driver is enabled. And you do want to make sure that your output is not enabled, otherwise it might get into a feedback loop and it'll likely cause a lot of issues. So now here we are in Ableton. You want to go under your settings in Ableton. You want to go to your MIDI right here. And you can see the IAC driver. You just want to make sure that input is set to remote and output is set to track. Okay, so this is my Ableton setup right here. You can see that I have the drums, the bass, the tracks, click, and the cues all on their own stems, and they're all going out their own outputs. If you are not familiar with how to set up Ableton for a backing track set, I have a video going over that. It's not what this video is really about, but check out that video if you want to find out more about it. But here, this is where I'm going to have all of the MIDI files. So this is where I'm going to do all of my MIDI commands. It's going to go to the IAC driver, and it's going to send those commands to Visibox. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set MIDI input to none. I don't actually want anything to be controlling this channel except the MIDI that I program. And I'm going to set the output to the IAC driver. And I'm going to set it out to channel 8 because again, Visibox reads on channel 8. That's how I have it programmed. So I'm going to start programming MIDI for the song Sphere Storm, and I want to trigger that song. But one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to click this and I'm going to send that program change. Now this time Ableton actually is just 1 through 128. So I'm going to set that to program change 3. And you can see when I trigger this clip, it's going to send a MIDI command and it loads track 3, which in this case is Ocean. If I change that to 5, now it should load All Star. So you can see the program change is working. So now I want to go in here and I want to look at my MIDI map and I have play assigned to A#-2. That's what's going to trigger play. If you don't see that, you can go up here and say use note names. So it'll either give you the numbers or the note names. Note names is helpful with Ableton. So over here in Ableton, I'm going to find that note. I'm going to put the shortcut is B to bring up your draw tool. So I'm going to find A#-2 and I'm going to draw in a MIDI note right there. And then stop is B2. So I'm going to draw in one right there. So it'll just do a quick play and then stop. One of the things that can be helpful in this situation is not putting the MIDI note exactly right on that downbeat, but move it just a hair over. That might help to make sure that it sends the program change first and then the play command. Otherwise, it might send play first by accident. But I'm going to click the song Ocean or just be on a different song. And then when I push play on Sphere Storm, it should send that MIDI command. And you'll see right here, it will play. And then right here, it will stop.
Alert.
And there you go. Ableton is sending MIDI commands to Visibox to control the visuals that sync up with the show. So you also can do this in Stage Traxx 3. That's what my buddy Ted, who plays in that U2 tribute band, uses. He uses Stage Traxx 3 and then sends those MIDI commands to Visibox. I do have 4 different videos on Stage Traxx 3. It's great software, and the third one specifically is about MIDI. So if you want to check it out, that is another option as well. Great software. It's only like 20 bucks for Stage Traxx. Now just a few more settings and controls so you can get the most out of this software and make it work in the way that you want it to. So first of all, this enforce aspect ratio can be really helpful to make it fit on the screen that you're trying to use. You can set it to fill full screen, or you can set it to be like a square. You can see the image is square.
Alert.
Or you can set it to vertical, and so on and so forth. You also can set these rounded corners if you really want those. I don't really see myself using that too much, but the option is there. Also, you can zoom in or zoom out, especially if your computer's far away from you. This can be really helpful. The shortcut is Command plus or minus, so you can make the screen a lot bigger, so you can see that from far away, especially if you're triggering this with MIDI, which is very helpful. You are able to move the song up or down, and that's Command up or down. There isn't a way to click and drag. I wish that that was an option. You also can right-click on a song and either mute the audio or adjust the level if you need to. But you also can do that on videos as well. You can mute the video if there happens to be audio on that video that you don't want, and you can change the volume as well. But this is pretty cool. When you resume the video, do you want it to start from the beginning or start from the last point that it was at? So I have it start at last point. Let me go ahead and set that up on Backfire. And then you'll see when I start the song, it's got the 4 dudes.
We're getting closer.
And then it switches over to the yellow guy. If I pause it and restart the song,
Visibility isn't getting any
it
better.
actually just continues
So
from
stay
that
sharp.
point. So let's get to this next clip. Hit space to stop, restart the song, and it continues
Current
from that
distance
clip.
from target.
Obviously, if all of your music is synced, you won't want that, but the option is there for other use cases. Something else that's pretty cool is when re-triggering, you can either set it to restart or a couple of other ones. I recommend just messing around with them, but stutter is pretty cool. So let me go ahead and set this clock to that stutter, and you can see that when I re-click it, it kind of does this stutter motion. Pretty cool effects that you get with that. And also, you can set this so when the clip, if you have multiple clips, when the clip ends, do you want it to loop or stop? Or you can say just automatically start the next clip. So on this one, when this clip gets all the way through, and you can see a status bar down here at the bottom of how long it's going. And you can also see what it's going to do. So you can see that this one is going to go to the next one, and these are all going to loop. But once the clip is over, it's automatically going to start playing the next one. A lot of flexibility with what you can do with this software, and you can make it work how you want it to. You also can do some stuff like rotate and flip and add some filters and stuff like that to some of the effects, which is pretty cool that you can do that afterwards. You can also adjust the speed of the clip as well. Let's go ahead and do that on this clip so you can see what I'm talking about. You can set the speed to 0.25 and really slow it down. Pretty cool that you can edit some of the videos as well while you are in here and make it work the way you want it to. And last but not least, you are able to fade clips. As of right now, you have to turn on beta features. So go under your settings and then enable beta features. And then you can see when you right click on one of the clips, you can see it gives you the options of fade in and fade out. So here's just a quick example of this clip fading out and the next one fading in. As far as pricing, it's $7 a month if you pay annually, and it's $11 a month if you pay monthly. I know a lot of people don't like subscription models, and I understand for sure as well. I would love it if you are able to just buy it in the future. At the same time, it's also not that expensive at all. And it does say this, which actually is really important to me. So you only have to connect to your computer like once every 6 months on the annual plan. And it warns you and it gives you a few days of leeway. That's definitely really important to me. So it's really nice that they include that. But overall, it's a really cool app and a very easy to understand app as far as setting up visuals for your band. It was pretty easy to figure out. I didn't have a lot of problems just dragging and dropping and then right click, and it makes a lot of sense the way that this is laid out. Some improvements, I would love it if it could just be a VST like it's inside of Ableton or Logic or something like that. That would make things a lot easier. But again, you have that IAC driver, so it works. The biggest thing that I would love to see changed is the program change. So program change 1 command will load the first song in your set list. But what if you reorder the set list? You can't assign like program change 1 goes to Sphere Storm always, and program change 8 always goes to All Star and stuff like that. That would be really important. If you change the order of the set list, your program changes don't quite work as well. So I definitely would like to see that in the future. But overall, I think it's really cool, especially as a musician who plays with live visuals. Really cool software, and hopefully you guys found this helpful. If you guys did find this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button to feed the YouTube algorithm gods. But like I said, Visibox was actually kind enough to do a giveaway to 3 of my subscribers. They're kind enough to offer to have 3 of my subscribers have a year-long subscription for free. First of all, this is for subscribers, so if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And then second, in order to win the free year of this software, you have to leave a comment down below and you have to use the magic phrase. You can say whatever you want in the comment section, just as long as at some point you say the magic phrase, Severance Season 2. Such a cool show. I don't know if you've seen it. It's on Apple TV. I love the show. Second season comes out in January. I can't wait. Worth checking out. But yeah, that's the magic phrase for this week. You only have 24 hours to enter the giveaway, and I will announce the winner on this date right here. Please remember, never respond to scammers. I will never, ever, ever ask you for money in the comment sections, ever. Please do not respond to scammers. Thank you guys again for watching. If you're interested in checking out my video on that M2 MIDI controller or on how to run your backing tracks live in Ableton, I have videos on both of those, and you can check out either of those by clicking the links on your screen now. Thank you guys again for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at ScottYuleMusic. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time. They're offering 3 one-year plans.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.